Welcome to another video. This is part 5 of how to make $1,000 per month with digital real estate. My name is Nick Wood. I've got Francesca Ravanelli tuning in live from the Alps of Italy. And we are going to be covering part 5 today. We're talking about sending the leads to a business owner. And so in our previous 4 parts, we've talked about all the things leading up to this. We talked about picking the city and the niche. We've talked about building the list. We've talked about actually calling the business owner and getting and finding a business owner. And what did I miss? Did I miss one? What did I miss? No, oh yeah,
Booking
well,
a business
obviously setting
owner.
up, hold on, setting up the one-page website and getting that. I skipped that. That would be step number 3. So finding, picking the city and the niche, building the list, setting up the one-page landing page and the ads, and then cold calling, and now we're on actually sending the leads. And these are 2 separate parts, guys. I know sometimes they get bled together, they bleed together, but we're going to be talking about this today on this video. But for those that don't know, we have been doing this since 2016. We had let's see, 16, 17, all the way until about 2019. We had no idea what we were doing. We were barely making ends meet. And finally, in 2020, we figured out this process that we are teaching in this series, where we actually get a business owner sold up front, we close a deal, and then we go and we rank the website. And for those that have no idea what we're even talking about, because this is your first video ever, the business model that we're even referring to is called rank and rent. Build a simple website, rank it on Google, rent it for cash. That's it. So the reason I got Francesca on this, if you haven't been watching the other parts, which I highly recommend that you do, is Francesca is the one that is actually doing this project that we have before us. I'm doing nothing other than, recording this video once in a while. We talk once a week, twice a week, once in a while. And yeah, she sometimes asks some questions, but she is doing this. And so we wanted to film this step by step as we were closing the deal. So today we're going to talk about sending the actual lead. So we've got a business owner that we've said, hey, Mr. Business Owner, Mrs. Business Owner, we want to give you a couple leads and we want to do it completely free. All we ask in exchange is that we have a conversation about working together, once I send you a few leads. Okay, that's where we're up to. Now we're going to send the leads. So Francesca, what do we do? Well, how do we send them? We got a lead just popped in. We got a phone call that came in. It's a concrete job. What the heck do we actually do?
Yeah, so there's a right way and a wrong way on how you send the leads, but what you really want to do is you live transfer that lead over to the
Hold
business
on, hold
owner,
on. What's the wrong way to do it?
texting it over. It would be
Okay.
the
So
wrong way.
meaning like I get the Susie. Oh, let's go step by step. Phone
Yeah,
call
so
comes
Susie,
in. Phone call comes in. What do I do?
yeah, you get a phone call, your phone rings, you know it's a lead, you answer, and you kind of act like you're in the business. Keep it simple. So I just say, hey, this is Francesca. How can I help you today? And they're going to say, I need a quote for a driveway. And then I say, okay, let me just connect you really quick to the business owner so he can help you out and give you an estimate. Then I merge it in. I tell her, hey, just hold on the phone. I'm going to pause you for a second. Then you call the business owner, you merge in the calls, mute yourself. Well, obviously, you tell the business owner, hey, I have Susie on here that wants an estimate. Let me transfer it really quick. Merge the calls, so it's a 3-way call. Mute yourself, and you just let them talk
That's
and
it.
listen.
That's it. Now, a couple important points. One little tip that I would recommend is when we have, by the way, inside of Digital Landlord, which is our paid community, we have our script of how you answer these calls. We have, best practices. But one little tip I want to throw in is when you get a call and you answer, I like how Francesca said that you keep it, vague. Hey, this is Francesca. How can I help you today? What I found that works even a little bit better is saying, because obviously I'm using a tracking number, so I know which website, guys. You'll know which website this is coming from if you're running multiple projects. It'll tell you in your ear. There's this thing called a whisper message. It'll say new lead from New York Concrete, right? Or Manhattan Concrete, for example. The customer doesn't hear it, but I do. So you can answer like that. But you can also keep like, hey, this is Francesca, I can help you. What I like to do is I like to say, hey, this is Nick. I'm guessing you're looking for an estimate, right? What do you need? And the reason I say that, sometimes people call and they want to like just ask weird questions. So that's another little thing I like to add is like, I'm guessing you need an estimate. What do you got? Like, they're just, of course, they would never assume I'm not the person that should be answering the phone if I'm saying you need an estimate. What do you got? So, but this is something that you get more confident. I like what Francesca said. Keep it simple. Hey, this is Francesca. How can I help you? Boom. Because then if they ask you, though, they're like, okay, in fact, Francesca, this isn't going to be an entire training on this, but if I'm like, hey, yeah, is this Manhattan concrete? Then what do you say?
What do I say?
Yep.
Are we like role playing?
Yeah, you could replay real quick.
Yeah, then I just say, yes, it is. And I just cut to the chase. And then in that case, I do say, yeah, are you looking for an estimate? What do you have going on? And just kind of, get to the point.
Yeah. And you could also say, hey, this is Francesca with Manhattan Concrete. How can I help you? This is Nick with.
There's
Yeah, that's going to clear up all confusion. But anyway, you answer the phone. Francesca said it perfectly. You answer it. You tell the customer, like, hey, give me your information. I'm going to get you patched over to the business owner. Keep in mind, business owner's already been called, and he already is expecting you to call at some point. And what I like to tell the business owner too before this part is I like to tell them, hey, if I'm calling you, it's important because I probably have money on the line. So frickin' answer the phone. And sometimes I'll joke, like, save this as like incoming cash or something like that because I need you to answer the phone when I call. Because nothing's worse than when you're trying to do this three-way call and they don't answer and you're like, ah. So that's it. You tell the business owner or you get the information, you call the business owner, you're like, hey, ma'am, 1 second, let me get Paul on the line really quick. And he's actually just going to get you on the schedule real quick. So hold on. It's going to go quiet for a second because I'm going to do a three-way call. So I didn't hang up on you. And then you pause it or you call him. You're like, hey, Paul, you remember me? I told you I was going to get you some leads. Well, I got one right now. It's hot. It's hot. Her name's freaking Frankie, whatever. She's got this, and this. And I'll say to Paul, I'll be like, hey, I just told her that I work for you to make it easy. So I don't have to explain. So I'm literally just going to patch you guys together and I'm going to mute myself and I'm going to let you schedule the call. That's it. So now let's talk about what you're saying. Why do we personally, now you don't have to three-way call, but we've tried all kinds of stuff. We've tried to text, three-way text. We've tried to just send the information over, email the information over. We've even tried to just forward the calls directly to the business owner right out the gate. Why do it is a little bit more manual. Why do we go through the headache of doing this manually when there's all these other options? Like, just explain that because we've tried them all.
Yeah, I would say two main reasons. One, you have the power of the lead. So if you text it over, so the owner can say, oh, they didn't answer. Oh, this happened. Oh, no, it never went through. But if you're calling them, you have it on the line. They cannot get back to you and say, oh, it didn't answer or that didn't happen because you literally transferred it. And second, it gives you a chance to mute yourself. When you're muting yourself, you listen to the interaction. It gives you a chance to hear how the business owner is and see how professional they are. Is that even someone you want to work with? And also, I will say, sometimes texting seems easier, but it actually takes less time to just do a 2-minute call than to go back and forth with texting. And then it's just not enough. Like, you don't have to think about it anymore. It's done.
I love that. I think it sounds more complicated, but really in the long run, I think it saves you time. The other thing too is, like you said, you can control the entire process. If I'm just sending a lead over to Paul, he doesn't know what to say. He's going to call Judy freaking Trudy and he's going to go, hey, this is Paul with Cornerstone Concrete. And she's going to go, well, I thought I was calling Manhattan Concrete. Like, they just don't get it. So you want to, like, you're basically like just carefully handing them these first couple leads, like these little babies. You guys, you're just handing that. It's digital gold that we have. So we treat each one of these leads like money, and it's worked the best for us. So also, people would argue, well, shouldn't I just forward it directly to the business owner? No, because the business owner, again, we haven't trained them on how to call, how to answer the phone. They're not familiar with it. We want to just control every aspect of this. We only have to do this like between 1 and 5 times before we can go for the freaking deal. So suck it up, buttercup. And by the way, here's a quick question. Well, I got a job and I can't answer every call. So what do I do?
That would be like someone that wants to do it, right?
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is, let's say somebody watching this video is like, well, the live transfer would be nice if I was at my desk all day, but I have this really important job. What do you say to that person if they want to do transfers, live transfers?
Well, it really doesn't take that long to like it's really short and it takes less time. Like if you're working, then going back and forth, checking messages, then they call you anyway, even if you're texting, they usually call you and be like, hey, can you explain what this is?
But what if they like actually can't answer it live because they're not going to be on the break? What would you recommend somebody do in that case?
Calling as soon as you can.
Okay, that's the point I'm getting at. Guys, you don't have
Okay.
to answer every call. In fact, when we first started doing this, Francesca, I remember before we got like we got to the point where we were doing how many? Like 3 to 5 of these at once. We had calls coming in and we were transferring I mean, we had a decent operation. It was getting pretty smooth, but at the beginning, I remember what I was doing. This is when I wasn't having you call the leads. I was calling all the leads is I would let them all just kind of go to voicemail. And then I would have like a couple points in the day, maybe like lunch, mid-morning, mid-afternoon, and end of day, where I'd call all the leads because I couldn't be sitting there working on, what I thought the future of the company was. And every 5 seconds, a lead's coming in and I got to distract myself. So, guys, what I would recommend if you have multiple projects or if you cannot answer, physically cannot answer, but it's always best to answer. But if you can't, you can call back. Okay. Last thing I want to
Yes.
talk about really quick, when you do call back, you're going to be calling from a cell phone. You're going to be calling from, I have an area code that's like a freaking Charleston. It's half the time it shows up as like Chicago. It's just some sketchy number. I don't even know how you have multiple things. But anyway, it's a weird South Carolina area code. Francesca's got a California area code. What do you say? What's a quick tip to say when you do call a lead back that you missed the call, the incoming call?
Yeah, I usually just say, hey, this is Francesca with New York Concrete. I know that you're looking for an estimate. Sorry for the weird area code. I'm actually calling you from my personal cell, so that's why. And then same thing, you just handle it. And they usually, I will say, often when you do call them back, which is totally fine, but if you do call them back, they often don't answer. So I am already ready to send a quick text and also say this exact same thing. Hey, this is Francesca with New York Concrete. Just calling you to follow up on that estimate request that you had. This is my personal cell, so just, call me back as soon as you can.
Yeah, that's it. And the other thing too, I would call twice if you could. If they don't answer and you're calling from your cell phone, double call. And then as soon as they pick up, you're like, hey, this isn't, you're not going to win a free cruise here. I'm actually calling for Manhattan Concrete. I'm calling from my cell phone, just as a heads up. That's why that's a weird area code. They're like, oh yeah, I thought it was a spam and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, ha, ha, ha. Okay, ma'am, give me your freaking information so I can slam you through and I can get a deal, right? That's kind of the mentality. But so guys, you don't have to. Other than that, what golden question everyone's going to ask? And I think what we should do, I think as a little teaser, I think we should make a separate video. I want to ask this question to everybody on this video in the comments. What is the golden number of leads? How many leads should you actually send to a business owner? And we actually have a formula for how we determine this. It's different on every business or every situation, but we do have a framework and some rules. So I want to know, how many leads do you think is the right amount of leads to send to a business owner before you can close them? So guys, with that said, thank you for being on this video. Was this part 5?
For 5.
My goodness. Okay. And just so everybody knows, on the deal that we're actually doing, we talked about it. We didn't even talk about the actual deal. We have gone through 3 different business owners. We've hooked the business owner. We've sent them a few free leads. And for whatever reason, there's been some language barriers. There's been this, that, and the rest. It hasn't panned out yet. I actually like that it's been a little more difficult because then it's going to show people sometimes you got to freaking hustle for these deals. We're on another one right now. We just barely sent him a text and said, hey, how many leads have we sent this guy, by the way? Any? 2. Sent this guy 2 leads, and we sent him a text just barely. And by the way, you guys, 2 is not the magic number, by the way, because it's different for everybody. But we sent him 2, and I just got off a text and said, hey, we need to know by the end of the week or else we're moving on. So stay tuned on that, because on the next video, we're going to be talking about the next portion, and we're going to be talking about what I call the setup. We're going to be talking about preemptively overcoming objections, eliminating objections, not overcoming, eliminating objections before they come up. And then on the last part of our series, we are going to be talking about actually closing the deal. Guys, if you haven't already, we have a free Discord channel. We have a free Facebook group. We have a free training at rentsimplesites.com. Follow me on Instagram at Digital Drug Dealing. Also on TikTok if you guys want more little snippets and tidbits. And with that said, we'll see you guys on the next video.